Hi everyone, I'm Tracy, your host for Chandler's Channel, and today's session is our topic of the week, and it's on death. But as per usual, I always like to touch back on our previous topic of the week, which was on suicide. So if you're here for this week's topic, just stay tuned, give me a couple of minutes, and we'll be right into it. But the last topic was a sensitive issue on suicide, and Jesus did join us for that one. Excuse me. At the very end. So if you're one of these people who zips through and just wanted to hear Whitehawk's words, then you probably missed Jesus's words. So you probably want to go back and have a listen, because Whitehawk had some great things to say, that we are loved and we are love, and that we are created in God's image. And then Jesus let us know that he's always here for us. Just call out his name. And I'm trying to think what else. Yes, he wanted us to play. Play, play, play. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to that, please do, for it's an important message, and share it with anyone that you know who's in despair, or perhaps even thinking of taking their own life. So, as I said previous, this week's topic is death. So let's jump in. I'll go get Whitehawk and let's see what he has to say about death. Indeed, he starts. What can one say about death that hasn't been said many times before, over and over and over again? Well, what I can say to you is that indeed it is a natural part of life to begin our life here on earth. He says we are born. But when we begin our life here on earth, we do it knowing that there is an end. And when he's speaking, it's often like on a shore, and then there's the grass line, and then people come and they sit and they listen to him on the grass. And there's this one little girl who often comes, and she's sitting there listening intently, as she does, and that's where we are right now as we listen to him. And when she listens, she's quite quiet. And what are we? We are, I guess we're kind of in our own thoughts, about talking about that. The fact that he said, like, when we come to this earth, we know that there will be an end. And that's kind of deep for some to grab a hold of. Yes, he says it is. But my children, there's so much life in between before you leave this wonderful planet. So do not despair when I give you those words, he says. It is not a blink of an eye that you come and then you go. And that all kind of makes us take a bit of a breath, but still, knowing that we're going to leave at some time is kind of too much to handle, too much to bear. And then it's like Whiteha comes along and he puts his hand on my shoulder, Tracy, but it's like he's doing it to us all. And he sits down beside me like an old friend, and he says, yes, but do not despair, for we are always here, as we have always been. He says, through birth, through life, and through death, we are always there. But you forget, he says. But you forget, don't you? You forget that we are there, and that you are created in the image of God. Therefore, you will come back home to God when it is your time, and not before, not a minute, not a second before. And so as some people have come and they're standing listening to this at the back, and some are standing, with their hands like that crossed, and some are down like this. They're ingesting this news. But still, there's so much uncertainty, right, when we talk about death, because no one really knows when their time is and will come. He says no. And would you want to? Could you live your life knowing that your time has come? And I was like, no, there's no way I could do that. There's no way I could know that I only had 50 years, or that I only had 12 years, or that, well, I only have one more week left on this earth. Indeed. And that is why we do not tell you. And that is why you do not know. But I want to know, why? Why do you live with the fear of death? What has created this fear? And someone kind of puts his hand up, a man with dark hair. He's tall and with dark hair, short dark hair, and he says, well, it's painful. It's very painful, he says, this man. Who said it was painful? I don't know, anyone you talk to, or the movies, or, the media, the movies. He says, have you ever seen this one? Meaning me, Tracy. Have you ever seen her speak with the Lord? Be with the Lord? Some go, yeah, we were there for those. Pretty touching. Pretty loving. Goes, yeah. Now, do you think it's difficult? Not difficult, he says. Do you think it's still painful to die if you are with the Lord when you're dying? And everyone's kind of gone within again and thinking about that. He says, this fear, He says, so it's not painful, is it? What's painful is leaving those behind, he says, that we've grown to love so much. Leaving the earth, leaving our home. It is painful, n'est-ce pas? And he goes, the actual act is not painful, it is peaceful. And then someone raises a question, what do you mean? I've seen many people suffer of cancer, suffer a heart attack. He goes, yes. That is pain. Suffering a heart attack in the physical. Suffering from cancer in the physical. That is pain. That is painful. But the actual act of dying and going back home to God is peaceful and painless. I promise you. So do not fear death, for it is coming. Even though you will not know when, and so you should not. But do not fear it. Revere it. But enjoy your time on earth while you are here. And of course, he says, do not wish yourself dead, for in that may cause your physical suffering says, and I do not say this to make you think that somehow that you should pass, because it is painless. For remember, it is the actual act that is peaceful, but the lead up can be very painful. He says, so do not mistake the two when you think of them, he says, for they do not go hand in hand. One is very separate from the other. But no, the actual act is very peaceful. So reflect on that, my children, he says, and know that in life you are safe and you have been brought here to play. So go and play, knowing that when it is your time to come home, to be called home, he says, you will come and you will go. But the actual act of passing, it is not painful. Although it may look painful as you watch someone, he says, it is not, for it is their soul that has connected with the higher realms, with the Lord above. And how could that ever be painful? Be blessed with this newfound knowledge, little ones. But do not be discreet. Be loud and be proud when you share this new news with those around you. When you separate what is death and what is dying. Be blessed, little ones. Be blessed. Thank you, Whitehawk. Well, there you go. He gave us a whole lot to think about there, didn't he? So, take some time for yourself to process what was just said. And when you're ready, perhaps you'll share it with others. Perhaps you will not. Maybe you don't believe a word he says. And that's okay. It's your choice in life to live as you so choose. So, as per usual, our next reading is our weekly reading, which falls on Mondays, and then our topic of the week, which falls on Thursdays. So, until then, play, for it does pay. I'm Tracy for the Chandler's Channel. God bless and take care.